Hello, my name is Pickle Rick, and this is a stream I'm putting together that's just going to be an off-the-cuff, unscripted tutorial on how to use the Navy Fish docking alignment tool. This is dedicated to another streamer named Nitzkins, and I just wanted to show him how to use it because if you start without understanding anything about how these kinds of alignment indicators work and what the symbols on them mean, it's very confusing. But once you learn it, uh, this is a very, very powerful tool. So let's get into it. I want to try to keep this, below 3 hours. Should hopefully be less than 20 minutes. I hope. It might be more because I'm gonna explain a couple of things more than just the docking tool. So right now I've got two ships, two probes in uh, almost stationary orbit. I'm gonna fix that right now. Let's point to the. Well, we'll do it manually because I don't think Nitzkin has the point to target mode yet. So, there it is. For some reason, it wasn't working. On the nav ball right now, the circle with the dot in the middle, the dash circle with the dot in the middle, is the target's prograde marker. That's the direction the target is pointing. And if I burn prograde, what will happen is I'll pull my prograde marker to my bearing indicator. The bearing indicator is where I'm pointing. It represents a man. That's the dot is his head, the V is where his butt's pointing, and his arms are outstretched. And it's the way I'm pointing. So if I move around, see, I'm pointing at different things, but I'm not actually moving toward them. In fact, right now, I'm moving this right here, the circle with the triangle dots, or the dots in the triangle pattern, uh, is my retrograde marker. So I'm actually moving away from him. You can see I'm going 97, 98, 91. I'm slowly drifting away from him. But if I just hit the shift key, I will pull my prograde marker towards my bearing indicator. Just like that. And if I pull my bearing indicator on top of my prograde marker, which is the dot with the different pattern of ticks, and I burn, it'll pull this towards me again. See, it pulled my prograde marker towards my bearing indicator. So now when I get my bearing indicator, my prograde marker on top of my target's prograde marker, I'm moving towards the target. I'm not pointed at the target. Now if I bring my bearing indicator, get them all three on top of each other, now I'm pointed at the target and I'm moving towards the target at 1.8 meters per second, which is too fast. So I'm going to flip around to this side of the marker, get on top of there, and I'm just going to burn to slow us down. Okay. Did I go too slow? No, I'm still good. I'm still closing. Okay, so I'm going to get on top of the target's retrograde marker, and I'm going to stop. I'm going to kill our velocities. Whoop, I overcooked it a little. So I'm going to just turn on RCS, so I'm going to tap H. Whoop. Let me think about it. Oh no, I'm going to tap N. Until I get our relative velocities to 0. So now we're at station keeping. I'm 27.6 meters away from it. So what I'm going to do now is turn off my RCS for rotations. I don't want to waste RCS. And we are familiar with W. Let me. And S and A and D. Those are for rotation. In order for any of this to make sense, you're going to have to learn how to use the translation, the RCS controls. And for that, if I put my ship in an orientation that makes sense, let's point straight at the planet and get behind her. So I'm pointing right at the planet right now, and then let's put my wings level. Okay, wings are level. Okay, there's me. I'm pointing at the planet. Got my arms outstretched, and I'm level. So, and once again, we know the commands. For A, I pitch up. For for S, I pitch up. For W, I pitch down. A, I pitch over to the left. Gadget, I got a dog who's scratching. Sorry about that. And if I press the gadget, stop it. Okay, so that's how ASWD works. Now, if I turn on RCS, if I press the L key, you won't see anything, but you can see from the thrust of my RCS motors what's happening. If I press L, right now, I want to make left and right, up and down the same in RCS as it is for what I just showed you with the ASWD keys. To do that, you want to be in your camera mode called locked. Right now, if I look straight behind my ship, J, you see the thrust coming on the left side of the ship? J is thrusting me to the left, or to the right, I'm sorry. And if I press L, you see the thrust back, the plume coming out of the right side of the ship, so it's pushing me to the left. So L is left, and J is right. And if I press the K key, you see the plume coming out the bottom, so that's pushing me up. And if I press the I key, that's pushing me down. The plume is down. This camera mode is very important, being in locked camera mode, because now you don't get confused about what direction I'm going when I press keys. I know if I want to go to the left, I press L. If I want to go to the right, I press J. If I want to go up, I press K. If I want to go down, I press I. Right? So that's how all of that works. So I'm going to go back to the normal camera mode free. Right? And I'm going to find how far I've blown myself away from my target. A long way. No, not a long way. Okay. God, goodness. Okay. So, and I can see I'm just moving at 0.1 meter per second. So I did this, built this ship intentionally because I wanted to show how it works if you want to dock a front docking port to a front docking port, or a side docking port to any other docking port. So we're going to start out with controlling from the front one. Control from here. Now, you can make your life a lot easier if you sort of point toward each other to begin with, but what I like to teach is go to normal, right? So this ship is pointing up, right? It's pointing north. Switch to your target ship and point anti-normal. Now it's pointing down. Or in other words, our docking ports are pointed in the opposite directions of each other, and they will stay in that orientation all the way as we orbit around the planet. If you're prograde or any other orientation, your docking ports are constantly turning as you're going around the planet. But in the normal positions, one will always be pointing up and one will always be pointing down. So now my only task is to get this docking port that I'm pointing at here in front of this docking port. So I'm going to have to go down, right? And once I'm down, I'm going to kill our velocity again, and then I'm going to come over and over in whatever that other direction is to get the docking ports opposite of one another, pointing at one another. And to do that, we use, finally, we get to it, the Navy Fish Docking Port Alignment Indicator. So I'm going to take, right now while I'm here, I'm going to click this and pin it. I'm going to switch back to my ship. And I'm going to set that as my target. And as soon as I did that, notice what happens. You see an orange circle appear right at the crosshairs here. Now the way that you read this indicator is, you are the crosshair, right? Your docking port. My docking port is this crosshair here. Anything you see on this in orange is the target's docking port. So right now I just pointed us in opposite directions, right? So his docking port is in the same direction, right? Same direction my docking port is pointing. If I was to come out of normal mode here, just to show you what would happen if I turn my docking port by using the key, right? His docking port's not in this aligned with my docking port anymore, right? It's over here. It could be up here. It might even be off the screen, right? And if it's off the screen, the first thing you want to do when you're using this tool is use your ASWD keys. So I'm using ASWD to get his docking port aligned with my docking port, or opposite the direction of my docking port. So that's the first thing that we do. We put his docking port opposite my docking port, and you do that by putting his docking port at the center of your crosshairs here. The next thing you'll notice is there's this retrograde marker that's showing up here, right? That means that I'm slowly moving away from him. Even though it shows velocity 0.00 down here, this is our closure velocity right here, CVEL. And we're at 0, but I'm still slowly drifting away from him somewhere in the decimal places past 3. So I don't worry about that right now. We'll learn more about the retrograde prograde marker in a minute. The next thing you have to notice is there's this orange thing here. This is the top of the target's docking port. The top of my docking port is here. The bottom of my docking port is here. The right side of my docking port is here. The left side of it is here. So if you want to dock two ships together and actually have them orientated in an exact way, I can do that. I can hit the E key, right? And you notice I'll rotate the top of his docking. Actually, what I'm doing is I'm rolling my docking port so that it's aligned with the top of his docking port. So now our docking ports are oriented in the exact same direction. If I wanted to put his docking port at the bottom, I can just roll it down here. Right now, the top of his docking port is at the bottom of my docking port. Everything here in orange is him. Right? You are the crosshairs and the tick marks around here. Now the other thing that's on here is you see two red lines. And the problem with that is that, not the problem, but when the lines are red, it means you're past your target's docking port. And oh boy, God, am I. See, if we look in this direction, his docking port's way over here, and my docking port's way over here. So first thing I need to do is back up to get in front of his docking port. So if I hit the N key, see the flume? Now, remember to do this first. Remember, I went back to auto mode. So go back to locked mode, okay? Now, things are going to get a little, change around a little bit for you, but when you're in locked mode, here's the other advantage of locked mode. When I put our two ships in the positions they really are, see on the nav ball, you got the red line here and the horizontal line here. If I line up and look at us from the side, that's what we actually are seeing, right? He's below me and to my left. So if I try to get us in a little closer here. Okay. So if I want to get in front of him, so I've got to do an N. See the plume's pushing me back this way. Right? And you'll notice the red line will come off the screen here. As soon as I start to get in front of his docking port, this line will come off the screen. So, this is all, you can just be relaxed, takes as much time as you want. We're at station keeping. We're not moving away from each other anytime fast, so we don't have to worry about it. They turn green, so that means I've just went in front of his docking port. All right, and I actually have us flipped around the wrong way. I gotta get us oriented right here. Okay, this is, I'm up here. He's down there, so he's below me and to my left. So I don't want to get too far in front of his docking port, so I'm going to press the H key now. No, I got us flipped around still. Hold on. I'm going to press the H key until I get this down to 0 again. See, this is our closure velocity. So there we are. I went a little bit too much, so tap the N one time. There we go. Now, I'm 8 feet in front of him, across from him. I'm 19 meters, not feet, in this in the direct path, right? But as far as our horizontal separation right now, it's exactly 8.3 meters. See, and once you get everything, you're used to doing this and taking your time and just keeping your relative velocities close to zero. You have time to think, and it's not a panic. And this is what's nice. I know not right now I'm pointed at his docking port in the same opposite direction of his docking port, and his top of his docking port is at the bottom of my docking port. I'm 8.2 meters away from him because I'm drifting a little bit. You can never get to exact zero, and I'm we're at station keeping, where relative velocities are zero. So now the only thing I need to do is get, first of all, let's put this in the right orientation so it makes sense. There we go. That's how we currently are, right? I'm up here. I'm at the center. He's down and to my left. So now I want to get towards him, right? So once again, with my RCS on, now we'll talk about this prograde, retrograde thingy here, right? If I tap the N again, now I'm moving away from him. If I tap the H again, I'm moving towards him. And I'm moving in a direction that is down and to my right. I want to be moving down and to my left. So once again, here's where those I, J, K keys come in. I want to go to the left, so I press... Oops, sorry, hold on. Right. Everything is opposite because it's like looking in a mirror. So instead of L being left, you're going to use J. Basically just futz around until you see that prograde marker moving around, right? So if I press J, it goes that way, and if I press L, it goes that way. So I want to be going that way. I don't want to be going down right now. So I want to be going that way. And you see that green marker was creeping up slowly because I was actually, my direction vector was below the horizontal line. If I move it below, like that, you'll start to see this line, the horizontal line here, will start creeping up because I'm moving down into the right now. So what I want to do is I want to move down until that green line gets to this horizontal line here. And when that happens, I want to press the K key and go up. And when they're on top of each other, that line is now going to stay there. And now I'm just moving in this direction to the right. And you'll see, if you look closely, you can see I'm moving to the right, right? And you have to make subtle adjustments. It's starting to get above, so I want to go up and then I to get back to center. So you have to kind of tick these back and forth. Sorry about that. But I'm still gradually creeping over in that direction, right? We're coming together. See, if I look at it from this view, you can see we're slowly, I'm in line with the docking port in this direction, in the horizontal direction here. Now I just need to align us in this, what is that vertical direction there. So I'll put us back in the orientation that you see us on the screen here. I'm having trouble. Hold on. Once again, I'm starting to get below. He's starting to drift below. The vertical one is drifting below. So I'm going to adjust that again. All right. And I got to get behind me. Here we are. That's the orientation we're in right now. See, he's gradually coming up from my left back over to me. Now, as he starts to approach me, I want to move with the L key to catch up. Now, I let him drift past me a little bit on purpose. When that happens, I'm just going to hit the L key to get to the right of the center or vertical line till he comes back to the center. When he gets to the center, I'm going to center it, right? And now everything is centered, right? He's directly in front of me, or he should be, and he's starting to drift a little below me again. So I'm going to press the I key to go back down to him, and then the K key to center us all again. So now we're 4.5 meters across from each other, and I'm slowly moving towards him at 0.03 meters per second. If I tap the N, I can get us back to 0 again. So now I'm exactly 4 meters apart from him. Hey, look at that. And a couple of things to note. My docking port, top of my docking port is here. Top of his docking port is now down here. Top of my docking port is here. Top of his docking port is down here. So I can align us, which is another cool thing about this docking alignment tool. Plus, I can sit here and take the time to talk without being in panic mode. So now to dock, all I have to do is tap the H key, start drifting towards him. 0.1 meters per second is safe. And now you have to kind of keep everything in the crosshair. So I'm pressing K to go up. They get back to the center. I'm pressing I to come back down. And the closer they get, when they get into magnetic range, they'll start to become very squirrely. Right? He's getting to the right. He's getting below me. And we're docked. And that, my friend, is how you use the Navy Fish docking alignment tool. I hope this tutorial's been helpful, and thanks for watching. We got up to, 21 minutes, so I tried to keep it in 20 minutes, and we made it. So I hope this helps, Nitzkin, and anybody else who wants to watch it. Thanks for watching, and until we meet again, stay cool.